Good afternoon, depending on where you're watching me from. It's another English class with Madame Udozo Cynthia, your favorite English teacher, who would always bring English right to your doorstep. In today's class, I want to present to you regular verbs. We're going to do more on regular verbs. We're going to see the rules guiding the regular verbs, especially when it comes to the formation of the past tense, the past participle, and the continuous tense. Stay with me, and I promise you, you'll be glad you did. Let's go to the board. Okay, number one rule states that you double the last consonant. But I'm going to tell you two ways to double the consonant. There are conditions before you can double the last consonant. Okay, you double the last consonant if the very verb is one syllable and has a short vowel, just a short vowel before the consonant. Then you double the last consonant. For example, slap, slapped is one syllable verb, slap. And before you add your ed, you double the p. Is that taken? I know it's taken. Let's look at another way to do that. Another way to do that is when you have two or more syllable verb and the last syllable has the stress and also have a short vowel before the consonant, then you double the last consonant. All right. The number two rule states that you change Y to IED if there is a consonant before the Y. Most of us are familiar with this one. When you have a consonant before the Y, the rule states that you kick the Y out of the box and add IED. And the other rule is add ed if it ends with y but has a vowel before the y, then you add ed. So when you have a verb that ends with y that has a vowel before the y, you add ed. And when it has a consonant before the y, you remove the y and add ied as the past tense and past participle of the verb. And the last is add a d if it ends with e. We are all familiar with this one. Add a D if it ends with E. Okay, now let's apply these rules here. Don't forget, a regular verb is that verb that has a format, that has a standard, that has a rule it maintains when forming the past tense and past participle. So because of that, I won't be separating the past and the past participle because whatever applies here as the past tense also apply as the past participle. I hope it's understood. Okay, let's apply the rule. Slap. We're going to have slapped. We're going to double the P because it's a syllable. And in that syllable, there is a short vowel here. So we double the P before we add ed. The same goes for the past participle. All right. And when we come to the continuous tense, the same thing happens. Slapping, double the P and add ing. Simple, right? Okay. Let's go to number two. Referred. Referred. Let's look here. We see that it is two syllable verb, refer. So when you look at it, you see that the stress lies on this last syllable, refer. You see that the stress lies on the last syllable, meaning the force. Your voice went a little bit higher than when you were pronouncing the first syllable. So when it is like that, and you have a short vowel before the consonant, the rule says that you double the last consonant before adding ed. Does that make sense? Okay, let's do this. Referred. We add another R before we add ed. And the same thing, we say referring. Taken? Yeah. Okay, double. The rule here is the rule number 4. When it ends with an E, you just add a D. No two ways about this one. And Dublin states that you remove the E and put ING. Okay, let's go to number 4. Tempt. Tempt. You can see that we have this word and there is no vowel before the T. So that's why we just have to add ED. Tempted. Tempted. All right, and here becomes tempting. Tempting. All right, we go to the next. Spray. There is a vowel before the Y, and that is rule number 3. When there is a vowel before the Y, you add ed. So we say spray becomes sprayed, and here becomes spraying. Let's go to the next. Marry. We're going to apply rule number 2. When it ends with Y and there is a consonant before the Y, the rule states that we remove the Y. So we say married and put IED. Is that okay? But when we come back here, we add the Y. So we have marrying. We go to the next. Admit. Admit. What happens here? Are we going to leave it? No. Remember what I told you. Admit. Admit. You see that the stress lies on the second syllable and there is a short vowel before the consonant. So we're going to double the T and add ed. And when we come here, the same thing, add meeting. We double the T before adding ing, which is the suffix for continuous tense. Okay, we come to mix. I told you that to every rule, there is an exception. So whenever you have a verb that ends with X, the rule states that you don't double the X, you just add your ED. Okay, let's do this. Mix becomes mixed. And here becomes mixing. Mixing. Beautiful. Let's look at this last one. Occur. I won't tell you the answer. I would like you to drop the answer to this very one right under the comment section. And I promise you, I will be there to vet them all. And when you do that, I promise you, you will get your feedback as soon as possible. I am still Madame Udozo Cynthia Ifoma. Don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. Tell others about this channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.